Hello, church. I hope that you're having a good day. And today I want to focus on silence. Silence is something that the older I get, and hopefully the more mature I get, the more I appreciate it. Like everybody else, there were times in my life where I wanted music in the background, TV in the background, all kinds of noise in the background, and in the foreground sometimes too. But the older I get, the more I appreciate the sound of silence. I appreciate, one of my most perfect moments in years was when our family was at Yosemite and we were sitting there on a log and just listening to God's creation. Birds, breeze, water from the brook behind us. I love that. Yeah, there are times in our living room, and we don't throw on just some random show to be on in the background anymore. We just leave the TV off, or I have saved several videos that are just nature. It might be a river, it might be a waterfall, it might be wildlife, and no commentary, just the sounds of nature, and can play that for hours while we're doing homework and cleaning or reading or working. A lot of times I'm working on something, and that's my background noise, and it's really more background silence than anything else. I've gotten to where I don't even notice when the music stops a lot of the time because I enjoy the silence as much as I did the song. And that's weird to me in a way. I didn't used to be that way, but I am now. There's another sense in which silence becomes golden. A friend of mine just expressed today that they were they were struggling, having a very difficult time with all the noise of today. And I don't know, they weren't specific, but they used the word, that they were struggling with all of the hatred that's in the world right now. And of course that hatred is coming at us in noise. And we hear things some things are just people that God help them, they don't know when to stop sharing their opinions. And so it's an opinion on everything. And whether it's literally noisy or whether it's just social media noise of comments and memes and things that seek to belittle and demean and hurt, it gets old, doesn't it? And silence becomes golden. Another friend mentioned yesterday that the world would be so much better off if, and they started listing, news stations that they would like not to hear from anymore. And of course my reply was, thank God there's an off switch. Silence of turning off the TV, shutting off the social media, and closing our own mouths is golden. Humility is learning that our opinion doesn't always have to be shared. Humility is learning to listen more than we talk. And humility is learning to listen without even trying to form an argument or a comeback or a different perspective. Humility, in so many ways, is silence. In Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 20, the Lord has been talking to Habakkuk about the idolatry and the sins of the world and the mistakes they had made and the things that were about to bear some very serious consequences for the nation of Judah. They were going to go into captivity in Babylon. And a lot of the things that they were being judged by God for, quite honestly, pretty similar to things that it looks like God may be judging us for now. There was corruption, there was idolatry, there was immorality, there was hatred, there was strife, there was enmity, enmity is competitiveness to the point that you are willing to harm, hurt, and destroy other people, like in politics. And so they were going through so many of the things that we read about in our headlines, and God says, I'm going to hold you accountable for that. And in the middle of that message, in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 20, is this statement: the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. When I was a kid, our church sang, and our church has, the Southgate Church of Christ in San Angelo, has always sung, really well. It's an a cappella church, and I love how they sing, and grew up with great singing. And this song, this verse is a song. And I'm not going to sing it for you here because I couldn't do it justice the way that it sounds when it's a full church singing it. But that song, the Lord is in his holy temple, let all the earth keep silence before him. Keep silence. Keep silence. Keep silence before him. It always brought awe to me. And I always thought of it as a worshipful song and a focusing song on the awe that we have when we stand before God. And in a real way, that's right. But the song comes from a moment of God's judgment where he says, I've heard enough. Now it's time to hush. And I think, I believe that we are in a moment as a country, as a society, as a community, nationwide, when the best thing we could do is to keep silence before God, to be awed by his righteousness and his holiness, humbled by our failure to be all that we should be, and to be humbled enough to listen more than we speak, to love instead of hating, and to simply be in the presence of God, and to hear what he has to say on how we can do better as people, as a community, and as a country. We need to remember that the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silent before him. God bless you, and bless your silence as you go before the Lord tonight. Have a good evening.